I said it last week and I'm going to say it again. This high value thing ain't going to stop. So for the men who got their panties in a bunch, and at this point I'm starting to call them the guys out. If you got your panties in a bunch, it ain't my fault that you don't like where you are in life. Fix it. It ain't my fault. You don't like where you are in life as a person. Fix it. But don't complain about the system. And one thing that I found out Friday is something I've always known, but I wanted everybody else to be able to see that the issue with high value is twofold for a lot of men. One, because they can't wish it. What's going on? 51 from San Diego in the house because they can't wish it. They just can't wish upon a star and make themselves high value. A lot of guys are in the mirror telling themselves, I'm the man, I'm the shit, I'm the this, I'm the that. But when they walk out the house, don't nobody know them. Don't nobody know them. And if they disappeared off the planet tomorrow, who would miss them? And that's what bothers a lot of men. Living a life of insignificance. And all I'm saying is recognize it and change it. Don't bitch about it. I'm seeing a lot of complaining and bitching on YouTube from chronologically grown men. So, one, a lot of the guys try to rejigger high value to include them when they haven't been that their entire life. It's like trying to get to your senior year in high school and all of a sudden decide you want to be the valedictorian. Well, you haven't done the work. The best you could do is graduate with honors. Number two, and arguably the least significant but the biggest problem was with money. I got news for you guys. $10,000 a month is the low number. Guys, there are people who make that in an afternoon.
I see these people apologize and stuff. I'm like, what are you doing? Why? Yeah. You know, like my biggest ever outrage is when, this was about 4 years ago, is when I was still verified on Twitter before I got banned. And I said depression wasn't real. And I know that's like a really controversial take. And my point was very simple. My point is that depression is a natural instinct inside of men. And it's something that is designed to show you that you need to change something about your life. If like you go to jail and you're depressed, it's not because you've caught depression. It's because you're in jail. This is why. So if you feel depressed, you need to wake up and go, well, why am I depressed? And how can I change this? I had people message me saying, you don't understand how it feels. I'm fat and I can't get a girlfriend because I'm depressed. I said, no, you're depressed because you're fat and you can't get a girlfriend. Right. You got it the wrong way around. So when I said depression wasn't a clinical disease and it's simply the result of not living a life that you truly enjoy and you're not happy with.
Well, there's a deep idea in the West too. It's like, pick up your damn suffering and bear it and try to be a good person so you don't make it worse. Well, that's a truth. You know, I read a lot about the terrible things that people have done to each other. You just cannot even imagine it. It's so awful. So you don't want to be someone like that. Now, do you have a reason to be? Yes. You have lots of reasons to be. God, there's reasons to be resentful about your existence. Everyone you know is going to die. You know, you too. And there's going to be a fair bit of pain along the way, and lots of it's going to be unfair. It's like, yeah, no wonder you're resentful. It's like, act it out and see what happens. You make everything you're complaining about infinitely worse. There's this idea that hell is a bottomless pit, and that's because no matter how bad it is, some stupid son of a bitch like you could figure out a way to make it a lot worse. So you think, well, what do you do about that? Well, you accept it. That's what life is like. It's suffering. That's what the religious people have always said. Life is suffering. Yes. Well, who wants to admit that? Well, just think about it. Well, so what do you do in the face of that suffering? Try to reduce it. Start with yourself. What good are you? Get yourself together for Christ's sake so that when your father dies, you're not whining away in a corner and you can help plan the funeral and you can stand up solidly so that people can rely on you. That's better Don't be a damn victim. Of course you're a victim. Jesus, obviously. Put yourself together. And then maybe if you put yourself together, you know how to do that. You know what's wrong with you, if you'll admit it. You know there's a few things you could like polish up a little bit that you might even be able to manage in your insufficient present condition. And so you might shine yourself up a little bit, and then your eyes will be a little more open, then you can shine yourself up a little bit more, and then maybe you could bring your family together instead of having them be the hateful, spiteful, neurotic, infighting batch that you're like doomed to spend Christmas with. So then you fix yourself up a little bit, kind of humbly, because, you know, God, you're a fixer-upper if there ever was one. And then you got to figure out, well, can you figure out how to make peace with your idiot brother? And probably not, because he's just as dumb as you, so how the hell are you going to manage that? And so then maybe you get somewhere that way, and your family's sort of functioning, and you find out, well, that kind of relieved a little bit of suffering, although it reduced the opportunities for spiteful revenge, and that's kind of a pain in the neck. And so then you get your family together a little bit, and you're a little clued in then, at least a bit, because you've done something difficult that's actually difficult. You're a little wiser, and so then maybe you could put a tentative finger out beyond the family and try to change some little thing without wrecking it. It's like, our society is complex, and we teach our students that they could just fix it. It's like, go fix a military helicopter and see how far you get with that. It's like, what are you going to do? You're like a chimp with a wrench. Whack! Oh, look, it's better. It's like, no, it's not better. Things are complicated, and to fix things is really hard, and you have to be like a golden tool to fix things, and you're not. So, and that's the other message of the West. It's like, how do you overcome the suffering of life? And I'm not saying it's only the message of the West. How do you overcome the suffering of life? Is be a better person. That's how you do it. Well, that's hard. It takes responsibility. And I think, you know, if you said to someone, you want to have a meaningful life? Everything you do matters. That's the definition of a meaningful life. But everything you do matters. So you're going to have to carry that with you.
How can they become a confident man and develop the necessary man skills, quote unquote?
Okay. It's interesting you can say man skills in quotes. Yeah. And I think we pretty much know what that means, right?
Yes.
Like we know what that means. So how do you do that? You don't have any positive role model around you that's like an Uncle Jake, which by the way, most people don't have an Uncle Jake. Yeah. Right? That's not normal to have Uncle Jake. Most people, you got what you got. And in this case, he's saying he's got like the intellectuals. So, you know, oh, my parents were college professors and they don't have any of these skills and they sit around and talk about philosophy, right? Now I can talk about philosophy well, but I can't fix my car. Yeah. Or I can't defend myself in a combat scenario in the streets. So what are you going to do? Okay, this is real simple. Go do things. Go do things. Start lifting weights. Learn how to deadlift. Learn how to squat. Yep. That's part about being a man, right?
Sure. Physically strong.
Yeah, physically strong. Learn some jiu-jitsu. I recommend that. Probably could have guessed that one. Yeah. Learning how to fight. Learning how to defend yourself. I just got asked this the other day. A kid came up to me. He's like, what should I do if I get intimidated by other people and I don't know how to react when people like get in my face? And I said, do you train jiu-jitsu? No. Start training jiu-jitsu. But then what? I'm going to fight everyone? No. You don't have to, because you already know you can beat them up. Right. Now, if they attack you, yeah, you can beat them up. But if they are just getting in your face and trying to punk you, and you look at them and go, hey, if you want to do this, let's do this, but I don't care. Yeah. I know you can come to my gym. I'll choke you out. Train some jiu-jitsu. So we got that one. Run, hike, sprint, climb, build things. Start building things. Rewire things. Do some plumbing. These things are not, they're not impossible to do. Now, it's going to take you longer, right? Like I've rewired my parts of my house. I've replumbed parts of my house, so done all the plumbing in parts of my house. Now, if you watch a skilled electrician do what I'm doing, it would literally take him 1/8 of the time, maybe 1/4 of the time, because or like the drywaller we were talking about earlier. A good drywaller, they are like masters. A good electrician, masters. A good plumber, they're smooth. Me, it's going to take a while.
Sure.
So, but what I'm saying is it's not impossible.
Yeah.
It's not impossible to do. And it'll take you more time, but you're learning how to do it. And that gives you, what does that give you? It gives you the self-reliance, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I can fix my electrical outlet if I need to.
Yeah.
When you put yourself in hell, that's the only time you can figure out how the fuck to get through that motherfucker. You can't read somebody else's book about some theory on how to do shit. Some guy who sat up in their nice warm office and wrote some book with a nice cup of coffee in the fucking hand. No, I want to see that guy who immersed himself in fucking hell, and he thought about quitting and leaving, and his wife and his kids, and why am I here? Is it worth it? All this crazy shit, and still said, and found out a way to get through it. You have to go into those dark chambers that we often shut off, and you gotta open them up. You gotta open up and fight that fucking demon, get in there, talk to that motherfucker and say, what's up? I get an email from Bill. Bill's a 30-year-old who used to be real motivated. And somehow he lost his motivation. He wants to hide and get it back. Well, Bill, you suffer from what a lot of guys suffer from nowadays. It's called chestnut syndrome. As a boy, your fucking nuts fall. But what happens in life is that we think they stay down there. If you don't handle self-doubt, insecurities, fucking imperfections, jealousy, all these fucking things, allow people to bully you, fuck you around, your nuts start to retract back up. Insecurities end up here, self-doubt, all this shit, before you know it, in your fucking chest. You end up with chestnut syndrome. How you fix chestnut syndrome is you gotta man the fuck up. Hit your fucking chest, send a signal to your fucking mind that you're gonna man the fuck up. And they fall back in your fucking sack. Once they fall back in your sack, you sack it the fuck up.
Your attitude has a giant effect, not just on your life, but on other people's lives around you. That's the other thing about it. Those I can't catch a break guys, get them the fuck away from me. I can't be around those guys. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't buy it. Because everybody has bad breaks. I've had a shit ton of bad breaks. But you know what I did? I stayed up. And I thought through it. And I figured out what the fuck I did wrong. And then I went back. It's like I fucked up everything I've ever done 100 times. There's no other way to do it. And I've had a bunch of shitty breaks. Everybody has. But you got to realize when you have those shitty breaks what that is. It's an opportunity for you to reassess, reboot, get better, figure out another way, find another way through. It's just little challenges. And the people that look at those challenges and go, why do I always have these challenges? They're cancer. Those people are dangerous to be around. They will rob you of your enthusiasm. They don't give you any fuel. They're the opposite of fuel. Like the fuel people,
they're the
people tank. That are kicking ass, the people that are out there just fucking hustling, always getting things done. The guy, like my friend Jocko, every morning I'll check his Instagram page, 4:30, shows a picture of his watch, get after it. He's out there working out 4:30 in the morning. He does it every fucking morning. Why? Because he doesn't want to. And that's how you do it. You go and get after it. You don't make any excuses. And those kind of guys are fuel. But those I can't catch a break guys, they're the opposite of fuel. They're just pissing on your fire. They're no fun. And the people that surround them are all idiots. Because only idiots want to be around I can't catch a break guys. Only the dummies stick around. After a while, even if they're your good friend, you got to be like, bro, you got to fucking stop. You got to stop with all this I can't catch a break bullshit. All the time you're complaining, you could be instead hustling. You could be instead chasing your dream. You could be instead figuring out what you're doing wrong, trying to improve certain aspects of your life, getting your shit together, reading a book, meditating, something. Fucking something. But this I can't catch a break shit is not helping anybody, and it pushes everybody away from you. But some people, they get caught in that pattern, and it might be their parents, it might be how they were raised, somebody might have told them they were useless real early on, it's stuck, and they never feel like they get enough reassurance, they never feel like they get enough motivation. And they feel like other people get more. And they look at all these other people. How come he gets that? How come she gets this? How come he's got that going on? And all that's bad for you too.